Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of That Gonna Talk. And ladies and gentlemen, we're here again on a Thursday. This is our slot, this is our time frame, and we have so much to talk about, so much to get into. Brighton review, Hurtsula being a wallad, the football media going mad, how many trophies we're gonna win, and them boy that from down the road still can't buy a win. Are they going down? It looks so. First of all, before we get into any of that, for ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to both KAPE Pausa and Gunner Street. And without further ado, KP, how are you feeling, my guy?
I'm feeling amazing, bro. League is coming home. League is coming home. City dropping points. Arsenal getting a big win, a major win, I would say, man, in my opinion. And yeah, Spurs losing again. Obviously, is 100% making it look or feel even better because their season's looking like crazy. But going on to the Arsenal side, yeah, I feel good, man. Things are going well. Let's just say that. How about you? How you feeling, bro?
Bro, I'm still gassed. I'm still cheesing. So many results went our way yesterday. In terms of our win, people hate it, but that was one of the doggiest performances we had to put in today. We did what we had to do. We showed the grit. We showed the grind. And if a team showed a bit of grit and grind today, they probably wouldn't have been in the position they are to go down. Yesterday, we could say the same about City, giving up those goals. We could talk about United losing to 10 men. So much. Liverpool lost to Wolves after they were bantering us for going there and dropping 2 points. So much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, from an Arsenal perspective. But this is what I'll say before we touch anything. This is what you get for staying your ground, bro. Staying down 10 toes. We were here, KP, in the mud, in the trenches, and man, we're laughing at us, bro. Bantering us. Joking, everything. Laugh at Arsenal. Telling you, don't laugh too early. I'll say the same thing. Don't laugh. I'm not going to laugh too early. I'm still holding my nerve, but these are just showing you. Man, we're talking about injuries last season for Arsenal. I didn't hear any disgrace. When all the talk was going on, Arsenal don't win trophies. Spurs sacrificed their whole season last year to win that Europa League, that dead Europa League. No, look at them. Shameless. But anyway, let's touch on Arsenal. Let's touch on our things. KP, going into that game yesterday, there was no Saliba. There was some big topics, and it was coming off the back of, okay, not the best Chelsea performance. Brighton, we know going into this game, a lot was being said about us. What were your thoughts and feelings going into that Brighton game, and ultimately, what was your feelings about the performance overall?
Obviously, I think the performance wasn't great at all. Let's just be honest, but it doesn't matter. We're in the final few games, the running, especially in the Premier League, and we just have to get the wins. And I think yesterday, especially given the way it was, the type of game it was in terms of the choppiness between the two sides and the manager and the crowd, and but Brighton are a good footballing team. Obviously, they didn't really pose much threat, but in terms of trying to get the ball into the dangerous areas and putting the ball into the box and stuff, they were doing that. And Arsenal defensively defended like possessed men. Like, a lot of people stood up and done what needs to do to make sure that we left with the 3 points, which we did. And I think that is major and key, and especially in a week where, or a week ago, a couple of days ago, we've dropped points to Wolves. It's not looking all doom and gloom, but the feeling in the fan base, the way the media are attacking us, and rightfully so, was all, are we bottling it? Are we giving it up? And, City advantage and all this kind of stuff. And then we've had, Spurs, we've had a Chelsea game, we have Brighton, 3 games that you would look on paper and say, definitely, the way Arsenal were looking, they're not going to capitalize on all 3, and we've done that, and that shows a lot. And then to sweeten it up with the City result that you find out right after, drawing to Forest, who, Forest at home, I know Forest are a very good team, but, they're currently in that relegation and fight as well. Like, do you know what I mean? It makes it even much more sweeter, because now that 7-point lead gives us that, 2-game advantage. If City do win their game in hand, and if they don't, yeah, even more than that. So I think it just feels like it's like, like we're starting to get to that one hand on the title.
It feels a special moment. Okay, people, I want to ask though, bro, because You talked about after that game how you heard the fans, and I'll be honest, KP, that performance had me on the knife edge. In the moment, right, as Arsenal fans, the moment they feel on the knife edge. When you watch back that game, there was nothing really clear cut, and even in the first half when there was clear cut opportunities, Gabriel, monstrous performance, cleared one off the line early, that lovely tackle on Matoma, and everything in behind, he was cleaning it up. What a performance by Gabriel. He was by far my man of the match. And then a close second in Capia. He was on the end of every cross, and how he's able to run and break is craziness. The energy levels from that defense, and I think we talked so much about our attacking style of play and wanted to see better free-flowing football. This, like yesterday, was one of those performances where you say it's not easy, but you have to win with all means. If it was City that got it, people would have been waxing lyrical about spirit and mentality of champions. Yesterday was one step to show we want this league more than you, and we have the mentality to go and win it. But KP, I want to ask you, it felt like one of those nights. Do you think that's the night where people could really say, like, or people will say, like I say, yeah, the league was won that night when Arsenal beat Brighton and City dropped those points to Forest? I know we still have to go to the Etihad, but what do you feel about that night? Do you think that's the one that encapsulates it all?
Obviously, you've seen a lot of people saying that it is this night, and it might end up being especially with the swing of things in terms of us getting the advantage again, where we've won when City have dropped points and capitalized on their shortcoming, and especially getting a win in the way that we did, not playing well again. We just saw us in the last, recently, not playing well against Wolves, similar way up in the game and not being able to hang on to the lead. And the team basically that clearly learning from that. Obviously, felt like we done better, especially in that last 15 minutes to control the game. And I think, just the way it feels, because we're so close. Like, we have 8 games left. By the time we play Everton, it'll be 7 games left. There's not that many games left. And if City don't maximize all their points going forward, like, Arsenal can potentially not saying confirm it, but you can all but confirm it if the gap extends. So it probably will be that. This was the game, or this is the little run of games that we cemented it. Do you know what I mean? How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I'm trying not to get. I heard what Arteta said one time during the season. He said, try not to get too low, try not to get too high after any particular result. And I think right now is where I'm trying to stay, not too low, not too high. Because against Wolves, I went dark, bro. I was pissed. And me and you have had multiple conversations about that. So I'm trying not to get too high as well, because I realized
high, man.
Wolves,
Get high, bro.
I know. My thing was always, it's not that I'm not thinking about winning the league. But again, there was just some. It happens at any title race. So if you hyper analyze any particular team, you could look at any missed moments and really say, this. What if this goes our way and this is on a knife edge? But I really think I'm just gonna hold my nerve until we go to the Etihad. When we go to the Etihad, I'm very confident we go there and we win that game. I'm very confident we go there and win that game.
But you have to, hey Steph, I'm not allowing you to do this humble patch. I don't know who you fronting for, bro. Like, forget that, man. Like, bro, you have to be honest with you, innit? Like, City, maybe it's West Ham away, it's Chelsea away. I think in the next few games,
they could definitely go on and drop more points.
And Arsenal have, as I said, what I said, is it yesterday or 2 years ago? Arsenal have 6 home games left.
Yes.
The last 8. City have, I think, more away games than home games. Like, this Chelsea and the West Ham game now, that's looking like where West Ham, especially off the back of Spurs dropping points, really can see the opportunity to want to push. Obviously, I don't think Spurs are going to find it a struggle to win a lot of games. And I think that game now turned. I think City, there's pressure on them now. Like, you can see the way the players looked after this game, dejected after that goal line clearance from Mourinho. They looked all like that was it type moment. And
we've been there as a fan base where we're the chasers, and we've had those moments where you feel like you're pulling it back in, but one or two results go against you, and then it's collapsed. So I hear it.
They look like they're gone, and I feel like, who knows, before that Etihad game, obviously 7 points. I think that the game in hand is not played until it's sandwiched between the Real Madrid game or no, after the Madrid game, like whether the semi-final will be quarter-final be, they get there. And I think
which would potentially be against Bayern. Or
Do
they're
you know what I
either
mean?
coming
So
back from Bayern or going to Bayern in the midst of that. So yeah,
it will look as a 7 point lead for now, and if they drop points before then, like, and
it's
Arsenal
only gonna
wins,
grow.
which,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll. You can only look at the points on the board. Like, you can't
Mm-hmm.
trust us. You're gonna win those games in hand. We're just saying it because
100%, I
we
agree.
expect them to, but we also expected them to beat Forest yesterday, with all due respect, and they didn't. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, I think have the chest, man, because I know what you're saying, innit? But it's
yeah, yeah.
more, we need to get higher because we deserve this, bro. Like, we deserve this, bro. And I know you saw my
Nah,
reaction
but
yesterday.
I want to get hype, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, my favorite moment yesterday was hearing the fans in the away and saying, "No, you're gonna believe us. Now you're gonna believe us." When I was just sitting there thinking, "Nah, we really." Well, it feels like that result yesterday. I'll say this: it feels like one hand on the trophy. You're right. It does feel like at least one hand on the trophy. How can it not be? We've lost 3 games all season up until this moment. That City team don't look good. We've talked about so many different things. We've been in title races where you think you're clawing it back. And even Liverpool had a terrible run last season, but we left just too much ground to cover. Have they left themselves with too much ground to cover in terms of the games left to be played, the type of games left to be played? And it's hard to argue against that point. I think that might just be one hand on the trophy. However, KP, one hand on one trophy is what we're talking about. We're also in a cup final against the same Manchester City. We're looking good. We have a great draw in the Champions League, potentially a really good run up until the semi-finals at minimum, some would argue. And then we have a great cup tie we have coming up this weekend against Macclesfield or Mansfield, one of the two. Not
Mansfield.
Mansfield, no disrespect to
I keep getting
Mansfield.
them two mixed as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always keep getting the two mixed up. No disrespect to Mansfield, but KP, the title says it all. How many trophies will Arsenal win this season? You pose this question, so I'll ask you first. How many trophies do you think Arsenal win this season?
Before I answer that magic question, the big question, make sure that we're hitting the like button, guys. Obviously,
Come on, people, and the subscribe button.
Let's smash the like button, guys. If you're tuning in, we appreciate you. You know, we don't need not anyone's in the comments, which is fine. But let's smash the like button as we're in. But yeah, how many trophies do I think Arsenal going to win this season? I think, obviously, and I'm confident, at least minimum 2 that we're going to win the league, and the Carabao Cup. I think we will win that. The draw for the Champions League is desirable. We should be making at least the semi-finals minimum, and then obviously it depends. You know, if it's a Barca or an Atletico, for example, how do Arsenal do in the 2-legged tie? But if we can make a final of the Champions League, I think we can win that. But I'm not going to predict us to win Champions League, and I think the FA Cup obviously is more like a draw, and where those games, you know, fit in, depending on what that tie looks like and what's coming up, and those kind of things there. But I'll say a treble.
Domestic treble. Domestic treble.
I'm gonna say a treble. I'm not gonna say what treble.
Okay.
What about you?
No one has ever done the quad, and I just think it's a tough ask, bro, because look at the level you have to reach every single game, bro. And Saliba didn't play yesterday. No Moreno for the rest of the season. Odegaard's missing games. Havertz just came back from an injury. We just got Doman back on the bench. Like, Waneri's out on loan. Like, it's hard to win the quad. So I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna win all 4. I'll say this. I believe right now, I'll say this. I do think we beat City in both ties. I think we beat them in the cup final, and I think we beat them at the Etihad, and we put the sword in them. So those are those 2. That's me saying for sure 2. I won't put us to win the Champions League like you, but I do think we're gonna win I do think we're gonna win the domestic treble. I think we could potentially get to a Champions League final, and again, we've beaten Bayern on that side. We've beaten Real Madrid last season on that side. That would be if I predicting 2 wins against City this season. So if we get City in the final, that would have been 2 wins on City. We've had the heartbreak of losing in the final in our club's history, and that has shown to be something that, okay, if you to win the Champions League, you have to have the pain. We've had pain more than bare teams in this competition in terms of 1, not winning it, 2, some of the losses we've had in this competition, and we lost the final to Barcelona back in 2006. You know that better than anyone. So for me, I'm saying I think the possibility to win a treble with the Champions League is there. I'm gonna say domestic treble. I do think we're the best domestic team. I think we're the best team in England, and I want to show on all fronts that we bring home everything at least. bring home everything. So
Yeah,
we'll see, man.
that would be very, very good. I would be happy with that for sure. Domestic trouble, and obviously Mansfield, which we expect to win, gives us to, I think, will be quarterfinals next round. So
Yeah,
that should be, you put yourself in that hat. Obviously, there is still some decent teams or favorable inverted commas teams that you would want to get in these next rounds, maybe even before the semis, if we was to get there. So let's see what we do in the FA Cup. The Champions League. Obviously, I just think if we was to get to a final, I think we right the wrongs of 2006 because I don't think we're entering it without. Even in that final, we're still entering it a bit underdogs, to that Barcelona team. Whilst I feel like whatever team we'll face, we probably can enter it not feeling like we are not that we are favourable to win that tie. Um, but
and very similar to that '06 run, we have a really good defensive record, the best defensive record in the competition, which they had as well. So that would bode us really well as a omen looking forward in that competition.
So it's like predicting a quad is mad because obviously, as you said, no one's ever done it before. I think we can do it. If we're gonna ask me, like, do I believe we can win a quad? Yeah, I think, especially given that Champions League draw makes it more realistic in terms of the ability to at least make the final, make that possible. And obviously, actually doing it is tough because, as you say, like, players get tired. Is it mentally draining? There's a lot of different type of competitions you're playing. You might win a couple, and to keep going is tough. Obviously, it's never been done before, as you said, so it's not something that you can just expect someone to do. But I think if there ever has been a season that a team looks primed, things look suited, like I just said, like Kabak, by the time we get to
I was about to say, is that me? Yeah, I'll just pick up on where KP was saying, people. But yeah, if we get to that Champions League final, I do think we serve a really good chance up against whoever we go up against. But KP coming back in. We'll let KP
sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Sorry about that, guys. By the time we get to the next after the international break, we should, at least if we have one in the bag, and obviously we'll know who we have in the quarterfinal. Well, one of Sporting or Bordeaux. Obviously expect us to beat Leverkusen, and we'll know who we have in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Like, I think then it starts to look a bit more. Hey, can we do this? Do you know what I mean? Because hey, that's just more than one of those situations, isn't it? If we knock them out, then it's like
when we win the first one. When we win the first one, I'm not saying if we win the first one. When we win the first one, how early we wrap up this Prem is then when I'll start to look and say, you know what? Because let's just say City start dropping points, their heads turn to maybe focusing on their side of the Champions League. That's how they're going to recuperate the season. Let's just say we go on to drag those two trophies out from under them. We have the Carabao Cup, we have the league. We like you said, we have a good run so far in the Champions League, and we have a good draw so far. Quarterfinals next, then semi-final. Then you're talking about Wembley, and then we have a good record at Wembley as well. So once we win that first one and we wrap up the league pretty early, I'll start looking around and saying, you know what, it's never been done before, but this is where you get behind your team and say, fuck it, if it's anyone, why not us? You know what I mean? Liverpool, as in recent history, have come very, very.
Yeah, Liverpool came very, very close to actually winning that quad that season when they lost to the Champions League to Real Madrid. They lost, was it the FA Cup? Was it to Leicester that Liverpool lost? If I'm correct. So it will be interesting to see what Arsenal can do this season. To be fair, just on the Brighton game, I just want to big up a couple of players because I feel like they do need to be bigged up. I think KAPE is looking like one of the best signings or most important signings that Arsenal have made. I think, given the fact that, like, as you said, like Calafiori, beginning of the season, I was just saying, Steph, that just on the game, a couple of players that I just want to big up. Obviously, in KAPE could have easily won the man of the match yesterday as well. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's been such an important sign, and obviously Mascara as well. Big him up, even though he didn't have the best of games. Obviously, got that yellow early, which was unfair. Was struggling the physicality a bit. I think obviously still coming in to deputise when Saliba comes out surprisingly before the game. And KAPE, obviously, beginning of the season, they've had the way Calafiori is playing, and probably Calafiori isn't at his full fitness, so maybe that's why as well. He's keeping him out the squad, and rightfully so. The way he's playing, the way he's defending so aggressively, so precise, like controlled aggression, and then his quality on the ball as well is showing. Stepping into right centre back yesterday, position we haven't seen him play and doing it very
Right.
well. Um, it's something that I just wanna credit. I think him, obviously Gabriel, as we already know, like obviously was a monster yesterday. I think Timber, David Raya, Declan Rice, and Calafiori even himself when he came on. I think just the defensive performance of the team, but especially those players, just want to shout them out. Obviously, the attack didn't have a great game, so the defense had to step up yesterday.
Yeah.
And holding a 1 goal lead from the 9th minute is not easy,
Not
and they done that. So,
hundred
but
percent. But you know what I'll say to that though, KP, is our football did improve. I thought later in the second half when you saw Trossard come on, Havertz came on, and Calafiori, like you mentioned, came on because they just gave us, I guess, fresh legs because we did see some tired. Martinelli started pretty bright, and when he had a little bit of his moments, beat him his man a few times, winning some crucial set pieces for us in their half. But I think really when Trossard came on, he hasn't been having the best of games recently from the start. But he came on, got his foot on the ball. Havertz was able to come on, hold the ball up really well. The ball was sticking with him up there. He was able to link up then with Isaiah a few times. And Calafiori with his pace and his power just gave Nkapie allowed him to move in. I just think with Mascara, you get those games. Like you're gonna get those games. The same way we has the level and he could play at that high level. Again, he's still 20, 21 years old for a centre back. Like we know he could reach a world class level. However, he's still young. First season in the Prem, he will have to adapt. And like you said, he hasn't been playing much minutes in the Prem. It's not like he's been playing week in, week out, and he's sharp. Some games he's gonna come in, and yes, he never puts a foot wrong, or rarely puts a foot wrong, I should say. But you're gonna see a Newcastle, you're gonna see a Brighton away, both away games. You're gonna see those sometimes, especially with a young player as he continues to grow and mature. But quality, regardless.
and I think it's mature for Mikel to, in both those examples, obviously Newcastle away. I think obviously we bought him Saliba half time. This
Yeah.
game, he I think it was right after that little challenge he did on Mente that could
Mhm.
have been a potential penalty, could have been a red as well, would have been another yellow. Quickly right after that, brought on Calafiori and made that switch and obviously protected him, but also protected the team given the context of the situation, which obviously maybe he won't get credit for, but it was a crucial decision in the end to add into that control that we ended up getting. So it's.
Yeah, 100% agree, bro. 100% agree.
I
And
can't like can I say one thing? I don't know what it was going to transition to, bro. But
no, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
like the media coverage on Arsenal,
Yes, this is
this hurt
exactly what I wanted to talk
this
about.
hurts, little brother. The crying, being a baby, being just nonsense. That trying to drill in this narrative and sow seed for I don't know what reason. Maybe just hates Arsenal. See, I know he's young, so probably grew up in this era of Arsenal being like in the social media area and all this stuff. So unprofessional of him. Obviously, the Scholes and Obi Mikel's and all these kind of guys that are just
It's
trying
it's
to
it's ridiculous. It's
like.
ridiculous.
I'm happy that Arsenal, like, I don't know if you saw that little advert that we dropped today, the for the app, the corner thing, and you can see that we're embracing that whole. You guys want to call us this? You think it's gonna make us feel any less than what we know what we are? If we like all
But
these
but
aspects about us,
but
so.
this is what you should do though, because the best teams are the most hated teams. As much as these teams, when you're done and you're out the league and you look past, teams will look back and say, you know what, that Arsenal team, man, they were hard to beat, man. We didn't like them, but fair play, they won trophies, they were good. In the moment they hate you, they hated those pet teams. Now they kind of look back on them with a little bit of nostalgia. I remember when Pep was dominating the league, people were talking about, oh, he's ruining football. No, these lower level teams are passing out of the back. Bring back proper English, hard school, long throw. I remember that Pine Barclay. I remember people were talking about all that stupidness. No, bro, know that we have it back. Our Arteta is doing what he needs to do to win again. And I'll say this about Hertzler, respectfully, bro. I don't know too much about your history, bro, and how where you if you won trophies or not. But when you are managing the level of the team or the level of Arsenal with the pressure Arsenal are under this season to win trophies from everyone, you will change your tactics, brother. I'm telling you. James used a great example today about Ange Postecoglou. That's one guy we saw last season who refused to change tactics. And when he was 1-0 up against United and he had to win that trophy, he low blocked it for a win. So I'll say this right now. I don't care how we win it. Bring them all home. And you have to embrace that as Arsenal. I'm glad to see we're embracing that. Embrace the corners because every team is going to have something about them. And if our thing is winning and is scoring from set pieces, let that be how people remember us. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be remembered as 25, 26 Premier League champions. And I'd rather be remembered like that than we played good football
again, fourth time second, because that's what everybody would want to beat us with. So I'm tired of it, man. Let's
And that's what everyone wants, man. Everyone wants that Arsenal that, yeah, they entertain, they play good football, have some decent players, that you attacking players, but they have, non-physical defenders, soft underbelly, a bit naive in most games, and we're never threatening to win. I think now, as you say, teams can't beat us. Teams struggle to score against us, even in general. We have weapons that are deadly. Teams have to play defensive against us because they know they open up. They probably will lose because of the fact Arsenal will capitalise, and it's one of those ones that people just don't like it. And our manager knows everything about what Arsenal is, like, even to that extent, and the way he is. Obviously, you've seen the way the way he
classy
replied to what Hurts
response.
was saying.
Classy
Yeah, like,
response.
this Hurts the guy that just completely. He just looks like a fool. Just a
Come up,
fool.
come
I
up
don't
out
like the
of
guy.
nowhere. Come up out of
The
nowhere.
guy
Have
just
no
talks
history.
smack.
No, like,
He's been
where
talking
you even
smack
coming
since
from with this
last
chest?
season. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I've seen the way he is. Obviously, yeah, you back your team and do that stuff, but there's a way you move in it. I'm saying Arsenal, only one team came to play football. If you want to do what you do, I will never do that. Okay, then don't do that, bro. If you ever get to that stage where you have you're in a team, whether in the Prem or wherever, that's going for a title or a league, and you have to adapt yourself. I hope someone quotes him this day, and he's a complete not he's a complete imbecile, bro. Like, I can't lie. This
imbecile.
is just
But and
this
you know
is
what? And you know what is worse about it, KP? You used to say it before, because again, I remember when we first had this conversation about Hurtsel, you were always saying, I hate this guy, hate this guy, hate it. And I never used to
bro.
say nothing.
I hate this
I used to
guy,
just
man.
allow it. I used to just not pay no mind. But what rubbed me the wrong way is not only leading up to this game was he talking smack, talking foolishness about time wasting and stuff like that. In the game, he's whining to the referee, in the referee's ear, in the player's ear, talking about this
He's
part.
cheerleading the whole crowd. The crowd are all booing every time we
I'm,
have a throw or
I'm
going
like,
down or a player actually
I'm
gets
like,
injured. You see at the end when the Brian Saka got that knock and the guys picking Saka up and stuff.
picking Saka. And
When it was Martinelli now to Bradley, people were
man,
all
this,
this is
bro.
why I'm like I'm just like here now. I want us to embrace that bad boy, like Detroit Pistons type,
Mm-hmm.
whoever else in the other sports teams that have been this type of rough riders. Cool, we're gonna call us that, and then we're gonna be that. And what's gonna happen? The guy's trying to say that we make our own rules and we're stretching the rule and all this stuff. He's trying, like, clearly he must support some type of team, Chelsea, United or Spurs, and hates Arsenal, and he just using that because he's always been in this type of negative way. He tried to do the same thing when we played them in the
Mm-hmm.
Carabao Cup, that first conference, talking about our set piece team only, and that's basically all that we're good at. Essentially, is what he was trying to allude
And
to.
every time
So
he does this, he never beats us, by the way.
clearly there's this little thing between him and Arteta, and obviously with him, even yesterday, I think he told Arteta was like, I was trying to lip sync when they were arguing, saying Arteta was saying, "Don't tell him to fuck off" or some shit like that. So clearly, he has no respect for anything, can it, or for his own fellow colleagues. So I just want to kind of say that, and I don't want to give him too much time,
100%.
anyways. But
Not
obviously,
100%, bro.
fuck that guy,
But
man.
again,
Can't lie to you.
and it's not only Hurtsler, bro. John Obi Mikel was talking. I remember, bro. John Obi Mikel is another one. And again, I'm someone, I didn't play the game at the highest level. You know what I mean? I'm not a coach at the highest level. But when you hear certain analysis from certain guys, man, some of these ex-players that played against Arsenal, that just you could tell they just don't like the team. And again, this is what I'm saying. Fan discourse is starting to get skewed because you have pundits that are supposed to be pundits talking, trying to be like fans, just trying to resonate and pick up an audience. It's nonsense analysis.
That's why I'm saying, like,
It's
the
nonsense,
fact
man.
that Arsenal winning is causing football media, mainstream, non-main. Obviously, you expect content creators and for other fan creators to do that. They're gonna ban out even if they are big.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly.
But like, and it's the fact that, like, these professionals, yeah, like you support a team or you back a team or you might, like, but yeah, they're not able to criticize uh
And
with a
give
balance.
context fairly. You're supposed to be the voice of reason for between the fans. That's your job.
Which is
But
why, I don't want, I don't want. Cause which is why I hope the season goes the way it's gonna go. We're predicting, you're predicting the treble. I'm predicting the treble. If we get to that kind of stage, because then all the hate, anyone that says anything and talks on the guys that are winning, and especially if we dominate domestically, as you said, then you're just going to look like a real hater. Because yeah, it's all good and well saying it before and trying to do it as we get closer to those times, especially if we go far in Europe, like, you're just going to look like a hater. So I just can't wait, because a lot of these guys are just going to be silenced and they're going to look like real haters once we are winning, and they're not necessarily given the praise and credit. Because for a team that's going for the league, almost there, that's doing so well in all competitions, the way we get scrutinized, the way the goalposts get shifted week after week throughout the
And
whole
it's really
season, has
only
been
English
yeah.
media. It's really only the English media, if you're honest. Because when you look again, you look abroad and you look at all these people that know football. I remember you and Don had a show about this one Wednesday. Can't remember the guy's name, but I remember you said he's a nice Spanish pundit used to watch back in the day. Bro, when you hear other people talk
Guillem
football,
Balogun.
when you hear these people talk about football at the highest level, I'm not saying every time. I'm not saying we should only hear Arsenal praise. I'm not saying that. Criticize, say we don't play attacking football. When you start to be nitpicking and start to find in and arounds and just trying to be focused, it's just disgusting, man. It's just stupid analysis. But nonetheless, what do you expect from bitter, salty guys who had to face Arsenal? So, hey, man, that's it. That's just it, man.
Yeah, man.
Is there anything you want to say about these? I didn't want to say about these guys.
No, man. F them, man. I hope that they stay mad. Let's just say that, and they will stay mad as long as Arsenal keep doing their thing that they're doing. So, like whatever they say, man. Just want to say, everyone, make sure you smash the like button if you're in. Obviously, a lot of people in the chat right now. Appreciate you. Shout out, obviously, Abby. She said, "Yeah, get hype." Obviously, I think she's talking to you. Obviously, about making sure that we enjoy this, man. Like we suffered for so long that I feel like we're entitled to enjoy. Big up AFC always says, we win 6 games and the title was ours after 22 years, man. Big up you, bro. I know obviously it's been a grind, we've done back, but like as you say, like we're nearing that stage where we start to knock out the games, especially if City drop more points, then those required wins become less and less. Which is,
but I'll say this now, KP. To lose any game of football is disappointing. Say this now, to lose any game of football is disappointing. So let's just say we're not all predicting a quad. So you're gonna lose one of those cups. You're gonna go in one of those cups. We're predicting at least one. If it's gonna hurt if we go to the Champions League, it's gonna hurt if we go to the FA Cup. But getting my hands on that Prem, man, I'm telling you, brother, that's all that I need. That is the one I need. As long as I'm bringing home that, I'll take one extra. I because we're already in a final and you have to look at it as a final. You win and it's yours. I don't want to lose that final. Like I don't want to lose that final. So that's why I'm saying bring me along with something with that Carabao Cup. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to lose that. However, it's gonna burn if we go. So I want people to understand if the league is not wrapped, and let's just say we don't win the Carabao Cup final. There's still games to play, and we can still have a magical season, even if we lose the cup final. Because again, we've seen this fan base off of certain results go either way. And again, yesterday was a good day to go up. If we somehow lose a cup final on penalties, or somehow lose a cup final by a goal to nil or 2-1 or something like that, it will burn. But the season does not end on the Carabao Cup, because all of us here would have said if we had to choose 3 out of the 4, we would dash the Carabao Cup and pick up the treble instead of a treble. So again, the season's not over. We go again.
I'm gonna stop you there, bro. I'm gonna have to stop you there, bro. Like, even though I agree with everything you're saying, and I agree with that rhetoric, I'm not putting that into the air, bro. Like,
I hear that.
That game in a week and a half time is there to put the dagger into City's heart fully, even before we face them in that league. Obviously, yes, it's an opportunity for us to win, and I think we're gonna win. I always say Arsenal in cup finals have a very, very good record of winning when they're in the cup finals in general. They obviously, I know that we've been to a lot of League Cup finals and not won. Obviously, City, Birmingham, but I think especially now, I think these players will need to win that, and I think they will win that. And I think there's no fear against City. I'm not saying City can't beat us on the day, especially Haaland. You know, the players step up, but I think Arsenal will have a lot for City. And I think,
I think the footballing world. I mean, we've only played City once this season compared to Chelsea. We played Chelsea 4 times. We played Liverpool twice already. We've played other teams, Liverpool, Spurs twice already. We've only played City once this season, and I think because it was so far ago, people start to forget how that game went because it ended in a 1-1 draw. City sat back the entire game. They got their early goal, they took the chance, but they sat back. So the same way people are saying Arsenal played negative football and Arsenal this and that, they went to our ground in September and played for a draw. And they had a goal, and then we had to score back, and it turned out what it had to be. But look at that in September. If again, same thing with Hertzler. If Arteta was acting on like that on the touchline and in the press conference, like how Hertzler was acting, then the media narrative would have been way different. Way different. The same thing. If Arteta went to Man City early in the league, even around, especially around that time, I think we were like third, and they were like second versus third. I think Liverpool was still on a good run at that time. The media narrative would have been explosive, especially during that time. So right now, like you said, KP, just win your games, do what you have to do, and you're in a cup final and you're in a good position in the league. Let's bring those home, and then let's see what else we could take home
Yeah,
in the season, man.
we keep it moving, man. Like, but as you said, like, it's not all doom and gloom if we don't win that, but I think we are gonna win that, and
Yeah,
I think the momentum and the way things are lining up going towards that game is looking like it will be the case. But the FA Cup is also another opportunity for us to progress on. Obviously, we've got that game coming up on Saturday. Obviously, a good opportunity for us to rotate fully instead, essentially, not rotate fully, proper fully, because we got that Leverkusen game on Tuesday, I think it is, and then obviously we got the cup final next week. No, not the cup final. We got the Everton game. I'm
yeah.
correct.
Then the cup final.
Next week as well. Then the cup final the week after. So probably the last time that we can fully probably give to rotate a full 11, given the type of position we're going to be playing. You making this full 11 changes if possible?
Yeah,
To the
yeah,
11?
absolutely. Some of those guys are absolutely shattered yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, and and this is where the tricky run of the quarter and trouble comes in, because it's not that we don't have good players. I think we all can see Arsenal is one of the best teams in the world. Everyone can see that, whether you hate them or love them. My only thing is, all season people can't tell us we don't deserve any of the trophies we bring home. We've had to deal with injuries. We've had to deal with suspend. We've had to deal with so much this season, and I think, like you said, Saturday was one of the last times we can use a fully rotated squad. And I think, with Doman back on the bench, Lewis Skelly needed some minutes. You saw Norgard get some minutes in his legs as well. I think no is where you start to maybe say, you know what, Rice looked tired. Zubamendi's had some shaky moments in the squad. And Mosquera, even though he probably might play as well at the weekend, give him another run out, let him get back that confidence. Gabriel was massive. And Capia looked tired too, so give him a break. Rotate the guys, keep the legs fresh, because this next half of the season next couple of games and during the season to end the season will be massive. So I think, yeah, I'd probably go the full 11 changes if I'm honest.
Before I'm gonna say you should give an 11 that you should want to start, and I'll give an 11. Let's see how close they are. AFC always says, obviously, let's laugh at Spurs. Yeah, we will have a little moment where we can
Let's all laugh
at
at
them,
Tottenham.
at them boys, innit? He also says, question, why is no one talking about City bottling it last night? It's the same reason.
Awfully quiet.
Which is why the reason that, and obviously AFC always, I know, like, the reason why I'm always calling for Arsenal fans to unite and be positive and back the team, and even if there's certain things that you don't like about certain players or the manager or whatever, it's because the way everyone don't like us is insane.
mad,
The way
bro.
everyone
It's mad.
I've never seen bottom of the league teams, like, fans like hating on the top of the league because they just, and you're always using the excuse of, oh, it's your fans. Like, it's not our fans, it's you just don't like our club. Yeah, you might not like our fans, but there's not that many other fan bases that everyone likes, in it. Like, I think it's the same way, like, when City wanted the treble, like, if you saw the media coverage and the hype and all, it wasn't like, it won't be the same way as if Arsenal won that same treble. If you see what will be happening, the talk and everything that will be going on, the way the
I might argue if it was the easiest Champions League run,
yeah,
the
like,
easiest Premier League.
like what City fans are you gonna see rattled if the media is completely obliterating them? Not what, Big Steve is the only one, like, and who, like, there's not really much else that after that, like, and it's just simply that, man. It's sad and annoying as an Arsenal fan, because if it's us that had that same draw against a relegation team at home, and City capitalised and won, we'll be getting absolutely cooked. If we were second and saying, oh, you're done, or mentality's not there, or this and that. Just let it all let media not even talk about us. Let them not even get our credit. When we win, we won't care, and they will be mad because they're gonna have to say nice things about us. They won't have a choice, because you can't continuously sell a product where you're talking bad about the team that's won everything, especially with there's new fans coming in trying to learn the game and looking at what I'm thinking, why is Arsenal are the ones that won 1 or 2 trophies and maybe 3. Why they always saying bad things about them? Like, they're painting a bad picture. So,
but I think we're finally coming around to that, KP, though, because we've been advocating that for the rest of the season. But yesterday, especially after that result, I think it's kind of good that I saw the fan base unanimously say, because that performance, like we talked about, that performance was not good enough. And again, you have to, we winning is what matters. but the performance was smelly. Let's be honest. We can all say that. But what matters is we got the 3 points. And I think everyone in the fan base unanimously said, you know what? Especially with City dropping points, us extending that lead at the top, we look really close to win this league. Let's just get it done, man. And I think it's good to see the fan base coming together. You see, we're staying to winning the league in the way in. Everyone's singing, everyone's chanting. I'm seeing all the content. The app drops today. It feel good vibes all over the gaff. Rivals losing. I think right now is a good week to pick us up, especially off the back of just 2 weeks ago, dropping points at Wolves. You're thinking, are we doing what we don't want to see? Are we doing it again? But it's a great response. 3 wins from 3 when you know you needed to win it. Absolutely.
Yeah, like you look at those 3 games right after the Wolves game and the Brentford draw, and you're looking at it and you're like, for me, that's what I say. Like, I'm always confident Arsenal can go to win, and obviously that was a big hit. I was pissed off against Wolves, but the response is great. And obviously, yeah, the Chelsea game, the Brighton game, the performances weren't great, but it doesn't matter. And it's also telling when we can not play great back-to-back games, probably more to fatigue than anything, and still perform. And then now we have the luxury of potentially resting a lot of players, giving a lot of players that haven't played that many minutes, good minutes in this game to potentially still handle business, and then go into that Leverkusen game hopefully a bit fresh, to kind of go again up until the international break. Obviously, make sure we smash the like button, guys. Still, the likes are quite low. I don't know about Steph's side. So before we give our lineups for Saturday, give our lineups for Saturday, and also get into our score predictions and get yours. Let's smash the likes early. I got 4 people in the chat. Let's get to 5 likes early, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So hit the subscribe button. Go over to Gunner Street, hit the subscribe button if you're on my side, and go over to my side, the subscribe button. Obviously, appreciate everyone in the chat. I'm gonna give my lineup, my 11 that I would go with this week.
Yeah, give your lineup. Let me hear it.
Obviously, Kepa in goal. I think Ben White probably will be fit and back, or at least able.
I think so.
Should be. Mikel, he should be in training. Like Ben White, right back. Mascara centre back with Calafiori, and Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly, left back. Midfield 3 of Norgard, Havertz, and Darman. And Madueke on the right, Jesus up front, and Martinelli on the left. That's what I would fully give everyone, rotate as much as possible, which is 11 changes, and allow us to play. I think that should be still good enough. Give Darners a good minutes in the first team back again. I think he can be that creative hub in the central areas. Havertz, Jesus linking up well, and like Lewis Skelly tucking in next to Norgard to overload the midfield. I can see.
I hear it.
What about you? What would you go?
I went very similar to that. That was a good shot with Doman. You know, I just remember Doman did come back. I didn't have him in my 11, but let me go with what I gave. I have Kepa in goal. I didn't think Ben White would be back, so I went with Mosquera right back. I went with Saliba, Calafiori as the centre backs, and then I went with Lewis Skelly at left back. I went with Norgard at the base with Zubamendi and Kai. I forgot about Doman. Doman is a good show. I think Doman would probably start in there. But I went with Norgard, Zubamendi, Kai, and I went with Noni, Jesus, Martinelli as the front 3. So I was a really good show. I just don't know if Ben White is going to be fit, man, because we heard he wasn't in contention at all against Brighton. I don't know how bad his injury is, because one game, I can't remember what game it was, might have been the Spurs game where he just wasn't fit at all to play. So that was very strange. I haven't really got much information on the Ben White injury, so I don't know if he's going to be available, honestly. So I kept him out of my 11.
Yeah, it might end up not being available, and then maybe some changes have to happen there. The same thing with Saliba. He had him in 11. He might not end up being available, and even if he was available, I wouldn't play him in this game anyways, given the fact that we have some important games coming up, and he missed that Brighton game. So there probably will be some type of makeshift defense. Maybe Norgard drops into centre back probably, and maybe one of Zubamendi or Rice have to play again, or maybe if Ibrahim maybe gets trusted, who knows what Arsenal do. But yeah, I hope Darman does get the start. It's been a long time since he's played, and I think obviously, given the fact that Eze looks so knackered, he needs no minutes in this game, in my opinion. Somehow, if we can do it, let him fully rest. Hopefully, we do kind of handle business against Mansfield early, and then we probably still have a couple of academy guys on the bench that maybe we can bring on and kind of allow them to have their debuts and some good minutes without us having to use anyone from the first 11. Really. So that's what we'll do. Shout out AFC always. I think Damon will play today. If he doesn't start, he definitely will come off the bench in it. To be fair, because he's on the bench.
And I'm not gonna lie, I miss watching Doman play. I miss watching a guy like that in the team, because even if he's young, he's probably not gonna play 90 minutes every single game, obviously. But even having a spark plug like that off the bench, what player he is, man! He's able to just get the ball, receive it on the back foot, beat one or two man, have that incisive pass. Since he came into the first team, he's a magnet at drawing fouls and winning penalties. So I don't think we've won a penalty in months, probably since that Zubimendi ball in behind to Timber when Saka scored his goal on the 200th game in the Prem. We haven't won a penalty since then, and Doman before that was winning penalties before. So I miss Doman, man. That's the truth. I really do miss him, man. So hopefully he does play against Mansfield.
Yeah, same, man. He's that all-world talent, and against the grain of where football is going at the moment. Obviously, breath of fresh air. He plays with electricity, which is contagious around the team. Obviously, the way he just glides past players, and I think he brings a different look, because I think he has more controlled chaos to his play than a player like Madueke.
Yeah,
and I think his playmaking, creativity, passing ability, and just ability to create space for others hasn't even been maximized yet, because of the fact that we've only seen him on the right and in flashes and glimpses. And obviously we haven't seen him for a long time because of the injury as well. So I'm excited to see him play, especially, and I'm also excited to have this. I think this Mansfield game, FA Cup game against the top opposition, comes at a perfect time just to allow the fans, the players, Mikel, a break mentally from the Premier League football games.
Yeah.
Breathe a bit after top 3 games. Not only to rotate, but just even for the team, we can play free. Probably, obviously, we know it should be a more open game. We'll probably know Mansfield will come and probably defend resolutely, but there should be some space, and we should have a lot more quality to capitalize on them. And going to that Leverkusen game with some confidence, knowing that we have a couple of home games back to back before that final. So
100%.
I'm happy, man. What's your score predictions for this game?
For the Mansfield game specifically?
Yeah.
5-0 Arsenal. I think we're gonna go there, and I think again it's another chance for guys in the squad. Like again, Jesus, you look at, he's gonna want to put down a marker. Gyökeres has had some not really too good performances in the last couple of games, so Jesus is gonna have to put down a marker. And to be fair to Jesus, he scored in the minutes he's got back. He hasn't played 90 in a long time, so give Jesus 90, let him have a run out. Let him have the full game. Let him see if he even gets a late goal, even if it takes that away from home. It's going to be good for him to show his hold-up ability, get on the ball, link-up play, and be the guy to score the goal. So I do think guys like Jesus, Noni, who hasn't really got much game time since Saka has been able to get back fit and been back in the lineup, he's going to look to make a name for himself. And again, I want to see a guy like Doman stand out in a game where obviously it's free-flowing, it's nice, we get the point, we get the goals early. And again, we got to start to see Doman with the tricks and the flicks, and again, an enjoyable day. So I'll go 5-0 Arsenal. It might be a bit outlandish and bold, but I do think we're good enough to do it. What about you? What's your prediction?
Finally, you're predicting a KAPE type scoreline. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I missed it. I miss doing these things, man. But today I'm feeling this one.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go similar. I'll go 5-0 as well, just because I was trying to think. If we started, a couple of more first team players, maybe I'll go a bit higher. But I think the changes are going to be difficult. But I think, there's opportunities there for Jesus. Your Nellies, your Maduekes, Dalman or Havertz, if they start to kind of get some change in their pocket, basically. And just for some good performances, just for players to enjoy themselves as well as progress through. We should have too much for them. Even when we rotated against Wigan, I think we made wholesale changes. We still had too much for them. No, we didn't make wholesale changes. I think Eze and Saka started, but you know what I mean. Rotating in Arsenal's team this season is still essentially first team players starting, so it's all the same really. So 5-0 from both of us is nice to see what we do that game.
Would have been a great game to have someone like a Moreno, honestly, because that's another one that would just allow you to rest the Zubimendi, and for sure you're going to rest him. He in the Cups has been really, really good for us this season. Had a really good game against Brighton the first time we played him, linking up really well with Lewis Skelly and Waneri when he was here. Also too, Martinelli. Martinelli has like what 5 FA Cup goals. He scored a hat trick against Portsmouth. I think he scored like a goal in the next round after. So I think Martinelli is someone to watch. He got like 11 goals in the cups this season. So Martinelli definitely was one that if you're a betting type of guy, look to put Martinelli maybe on your parlay, especially if he gets a start. He is good for a goal against this type of opposition. So yeah, man, definitely I think is opportunity for Arsenal to rest guys, get a big scoreline, keep the confidence up, and then you're going into Everton next, and then it's that cup final, man. So we said it, we wanted it. Win your games up until that cup final, and if the boys do that, then I think there's nothing more we can ask for, man. You just go into that and give your absolute best, and whatever it is, it is.
Yeah, man. That's it. Before we go, like it's just the momentum that you give, man. Like you win against Mansfield, get into the quarterfinal. That obviously see who you get, but obviously you've put yourself in a one game away from a Wembley trip. Obviously, I know it's a semi-final Wembley trip, so you're that close there. Obviously, also been to a semi-final of FA Cup since they last won it, and you know how we do it in this competition when we have a little run. It's our competition, so that's good there. Champions League, obviously Leverkusen away game, first leg. You want to get some maybe at least an advantage to take home, maybe potentially put the tie away, similar to how we did to PSV last year. Obviously, maybe you're not going to win 7-2, but you can potentially kill that game in the first leg, and then afford to potentially even rotate in that second leg before that final, and that would be the most ideal situation. But even if we don't, just get the wins, because you would get yourself into the quarterfinal of the Champions League, quarterfinal FA Cup, and go to that final with all the momentum, confidence, feel good factor, belief, and opportunity for these players to win that first one together, feel that joy, the celebration, and then say, do you know what? Now we're in a good position for the majors. Let's go win those and see what we can do, man. So it's
the heavy ones, big ones.
As we said, and it's looking like it's gonna be a magical season. We got to ensure that we do finish our dinner from this point on, in terms of going to go and at least go over the line, at least in the Premier League and the Carabao Cup, as you said, as the ones that we look most secure to win at this current point in time. Get over the line in those ones essentially, and then see how you do in the FA Cup and in Champions League for sure. But yeah, man, I'm happy. Things are feeling good. And yeah, man, it's nice to have a game where I can just relax and watch on Saturday for once.
And breathe. And it's good. I think we've had a few of these. Wigan was one of these. Mansfield might potentially be another one of these. So, like you said, it's positioned really, really well for us to just rest, rotate guys, and keep the momentum going. Finally, before we go, KP, a little fun question to ask you before you go. Who would be your player of the season so far? Because for me, Gabriel is making a late push to say, you know what? Everyone has been giving it to Rice. Everyone was trying to say Rice has it. But for me, if Gabriel keeps this form up for the rest of the season, then I don't think there is enough. Look at the amount of goal contributions he's had from a centre back. Look at some of the defensive performances. Look at the clean sheet, the goals conceded ratio. And again, when you talk about one of those players that lifts their form during a run-in, we've seen it with attackers. They're able to raise their form and to lift the team over the line. From a defender's point of view, he's not going to be able to score every single goal, make every single assist. But from a leadership point of view, from a ability point of view, what he's putting out there week in, week out, every time we see Gabriel, for me, man, he's getting up there to wrestle it away from maybe Rice, arguably, to be player of the season for me. Who would be your player of the season so far if we were to talk early shouts? Because that's going to be an interesting conversation at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think Gabriel's a big shout, obviously, especially his consistency and obviously just overall leadership threat. Obviously, you've seen him stand up many times in games where City hasn't been there this season, or surprise knockout, and he's stood up. Obviously, he defended well, especially yesterday. I think Rice is a big shout. Probably will be mine so far, or even possibly even David Raya.
Absolutely.
Season. I think Rice has looked a bit, obviously, under his level in the last couple of weeks, but I think that looks more to fatigue him and Zubimendi more than anything else. Which I think if they can get some rest potentially within the next couple of weeks, if Arsenal can kind of kill games early, then that would be good, just to let them get their legs back under them and get back to this stage. But I'll say Rice. I think Rice there's been moments where he single-handedly has the driving force and the will to both save us defensively and take us up and be the one player to drive. So, and I think those things count. And yeah, but it will be interesting to see end of the season. Obviously, so another player, maybe Saka, could step up now from the end of the season, score many goals, deciding games, and he'll get my vote straight away. So
And to
we'll
be
see.
fair to Sox, since he signed the thing, he's been getting the G and the A. He's been getting the G and the A, man. So you never know. You never know.
Nah, yeah,
He'd have to go on a mad run to win it back from those guys. To be fair, he'd have to go on a run where you're talking about maybe just blitzing teams to end this season, like goals every week, assists every week. But yeah, man, that's just a little fun question, people. Let me know in the comment section down below who would be your player of the season. What are your thoughts on the Mansfield game going into that game? What are your score predictions going for that game? What's your lineup? Leave all that in the comment section down below. On top of that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you feel about Brighton's manager, Hertzler. Is he a wild lad? I think we all know the answer. That guy is a wild lad. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. Help us on the road to 2K subs, people. We're here in this slot every Thursday around 5:30 p.m. American time, New York Eastern Standard Time, and 10:30 UK time. So people, show the love for the love. We're here. We're trying to be very consistent. And if you like it, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll catch you next week, people. Any final thoughts, KP, before we go?
Yeah, make sure you just hit the likes on the way out, people. Obviously, appreciate everyone that's been in the chat. Obviously, the silent ones that's been watching, enjoying the conversation. Obviously, appreciate you guys as always, and obviously shout out AFC always, shout out Abby as well. Yeah, man, we're out. See you guys next week, man.
See you next week. Good evening, people. Big up. Peace.
Peace.